So let's go ahead and begin with a few minutes of meditation on the breath as usual. And then after that, I'll lead you in setting motivation. And then today we're going to do a forgiveness meditation, kind of approaching the end of the year. It's nice to sort of clean up things, anything that we have remaining in terms of things that we feel we need to forgive ourselves for or that we need to forgive others for. So we'll do a little reflection on that today. Hopefully that'll be of some benefit. So again, we'll begin with just focusing on the breath. No doubt each of you have a technique you already use in working with the breath. But if you need a suggestion, I generally encourage people to work with the area around the nostrils where you feel the air coming in and out as you inhale and exhale. Just making that your meditation object, stay present with it as best as you can. But in any meditation we're doing, we want to always have that factor of introspection, checking in occasionally to see the quality of our meditation. And if we check in and see that we've really wandered away, gotten distracted, what have you, then we acknowledge that. We don't give, there's no judgment on that. We just simply let that go and return to the breath. So I'll ring the chime to begin the meditation period. Do again a few minutes in silence, and then I'll lead you in the guided part of the meditation. So let's begin by setting our motivation for doing this meditation. And as usual, we try to root all of our practice in this mind of bodhicitta, this mind that is determined to accomplish our greatest potential, to achieve Buddhahood, which we have the ability to do. We simply need to engage in the practice. So we have the confidence that we can attain this state and the willingness, a desire to practice that way. So generating that very courageous mind that is determined to become a Buddha. But we do this not just for ourselves, although we certainly will benefit from our future enlightenment. We do this because we are dedicated to the welfare of all beings. We see how much they are suffering and how they're suffering needlessly. All the causes of suffering can be removed. They too can attain the purified state of Buddhahood. So we generate this mind within that understanding, opening our hearts to the welfare of all beings and thinking that we're here to engage in this practice with that motivation. So we're going to be using a meditation by Jack Kornfield on forgiveness. And before we actually engage in the process of forgiveness, let's do a short reflection on why forgiveness is a necessary part of our practice and what its grounding is. While each of us might do some level of purification to remove our own negative tendencies, to try to clear up that mess, we haven't perhaps forgiven ourselves completely. Forgiveness gets at, first of all, self-compassion, seeing ourselves as works in progress, not perfected, making mistakes, and regretting those mistakes. But moreover, it also has the understanding that others are works in progress as well. So we forgive because we understand that they're doing the best that they can in many ways, that they're simply also under the control of their delusions, and thereby committing acts that harm us and others. So spend the first few minutes reflecting on this rationale for forgiveness and the need for us to practice compassion towards both ourselves and towards others. And then to begin the first part of this practice, to extend forgiveness to ourselves, spend a few minutes thinking about the many ways that you've hurt or harmed yourself, the ways that you've betrayed or abandoned yourself through your thoughts, through the words that you've used with others, through the actions you've engaged in towards them. Whether you've done this knowingly or unknowingly, let yourself see the ways that you've hurt or harmed yourself. If you can, picture them, remember them, especially those that we might have engaged in over this last year. As we approach the new year, try to bring those things to mind and feel the sorrow that you've carried from this, and also sense that you can release these burdens. So spend a few minutes reflecting on those. And then, with these all in mind, begin to extend forgiveness to yourself. And you can repeat these in your own mind, in whatever words, language works for you. Thoughts along the lines of, for the ways that I have hurt myself through action or inaction, out of my own fear, my pain, my confusion, I now forgive myself. I now extend a full and heartfelt forgiveness to myself. I forgive myself. Again, spend a few minutes using whatever words feel comforting and nurturing to you, forgiving yourself completely for all that you have done that has been of harm to yourself. And then we move on to the second part of this meditation, where we seek forgiveness of others for the things that we've done that have harmed them. So here we specifically focus on those actions that we've done, the ways that we've hurt and harmed others in our lives, might have betrayed or abandoned them, caused them suffering, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly. All these things we've done out of our own pain, our own fear, anger, confusion. Let yourself remember and visualize the ways that you've hurt others, again, especially over this past year, and see and feel the pain that you've caused out of your own fear and confusion. And feel your sorrow and regret at having done these actions towards others. And sense that you finally can release this burden and ask for forgiveness. So again, spend a few minutes reflecting on and recalling those ways that you've hurt or harmed others. And then as you picture each memory that still burdens your heart, recall each of the people that you've harmed, and seeing them in your mind's eye, generate thoughts of seeking forgiveness from them, such as the following: for the ways that I have harmed you through my action or inaction, out of my own fear, pain, and confusion, I ask for your forgiveness. I seek your forgiveness. And using whatever words work for you, recall each of these people that you have harmed and seek their forgiveness. And then, if you're ready, move on to the third part of this meditation, where we actually seek to forgive others who have harmed us, trying to cultivate that mind of forgiveness. So here we begin by recalling the many ways that we've been harmed by others, abused or abandoned, again, whether they did it knowingly or unknowingly, through their thoughts, through their words, through their actions. Let yourself picture and remember these many ways that you have been harmed, and feel the sorrow that you have carried from this past, and sense that you can release this burden of pain by extending forgiveness when your heart is ready. So spend a few minutes recollecting those ways that you've been harmed and the individuals involved in that. Then begin this process of letting go of this burden by forgiving others using words such as the following: I now remember the many ways that others have hurt or harmed me, have wounded me, out of their fear, their pain, their confusion or anger. I have carried this pain in my heart too long. To the extent that I am ready, I now offer them forgiveness. To those who have caused me harm, I offer my forgiveness. If you can picture the people who have caused you harm and really feel that sense of forgiveness, think, I forgive you. And then, having engaged in this threefold process of forgiving ourselves, seeking forgiveness from others, and eventually extending forgiveness where we can to others, reflect on what this might mean in terms of a follow-up from here. For some, it might mean that we need to continue to engage in this practice of forgiveness. For others, it might mean that we're ready to extend forgiveness in situations where perhaps we haven't yet. But just spend a minute or so reflecting on what you do from here. Where has this meditation taken you, and what do you see yourself doing after this meditation to continue to practice forgiveness? So then let's dedicate all the positive energy we've created through this meditation on forgiveness for the resultant state of Buddhahood for ourselves and all beings. And through what seeds we planted today, this might ripen into that full result for all beings. And then dedicate also for the good health and long lives of all of our precious teachers, and also dedicating for anyone else that we're holding in our hearts right now who are experiencing suffering, whatever that might be. Extend this positive potential out to them so they can be free from suffering and find all the causes of happiness. Good. Thank you all so much for joining today. If you're interested in this meditation, you can find it at Jack Cornfield's website. It's a wonderful way to work with forgiveness, and I hope you've benefited from it. So blessings to all of you for the end of this year. Let's hope the new one is a much better one than what 2020 has ended up being. And I'll see you all very soon. Thank you.
Thanks again.